Hey everybody, welcome to the shop. This is my first attempt at doing any of this stuff, so bear with me. It's probably going to be crap, and nobody's going to care. But it's going to be fun anyway, I think. We'll see. So, this is my junk shop. It's kind of falling apart, and it's kind of full of crap, but it's fun, and it's where I spend as much time as possible. Just trying to entertain myself because I don't idle well and I get twitchy pretty quick, so I like to be doing stuff. So figured what we'll do today is I'll walk you around my project truck, the Beater. And I use the term project loosely because it gets almost no love. It spends all of its time sitting in this building. It's in desperate need of a transmission, but it's still it's still my favorite thing that I own. It's just a beater old GMC, and it makes me happy, and I like tinkering with it, and I like driving it even though the trans is slipping. I like just coming out here and looking at it, which is dumb, but that's how you know you got an idiot car guy on your hands, is we'll just stare at something that's not worth being loved and stare at it all day going, I could do amazing things with that. One of these days, hopefully it'll be something impressive. Right now, it's just a fun little toy, and it's just bad enough that I don't care if it's sitting in a parking lot anywhere, and it's just good enough that if I want to go to a Cars and Coffee or a cruise, I can drag the junk in there and participate without catching too much crap about it. Although most car guys aren't going to give you a crap, they see the potential in it too, which is the reason why the hobby is so awesome. So anyway, let's get out here and see it. It was our neighborhood has a Christmas parade every year, and it was the parade float, and then it's been yard art since, I don't know, for about 3 weeks. It's been sitting out being yard art as Christmas decorations. So what we'll do today is we'll walk around it, check it out, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it and how I showed up with it, or how it showed up here, and then I will take Christmas lights off of it because I need it inside because it's going to get super cold by the end of the week, and I want it back inside the building. So here we go. I just realized I had an AirPod in my ear listening to music earlier. Forgot to take it out. Looked like an idiot on the last video, but it's all good. We're gonna go look at the truck now. I'll try not to have the stupid things in my ear looking stupid. I was hoping to do this right the first time, but you know that doesn't work that way. So let's go. Let's check it out. All right, so here we go. The lighting is gonna be terrible because the sun's shining in the building. Oh, but there she is in all her glory. Look at that junk. Okay, so this is it. This is a 90 model GMC short bed, regular cab, 2-wheel drive. It is essentially a stock pickup with some cheap wheels thrown on it, a Ram Air hood that I bought off of eBay, and rattle can paint. That's essentially what we've got here. The signage on the door is just vinyl. A friend of mine from work has one of those Cricut things, and I had her build me some signage for the doors for my big Christmas decorations that's up in the bed of the pickup. All right, so let's talk about the truck. This truck used to be my wife's grandfather's truck, and when he passed away, everybody kind of said that it was old and had a lot of miles on it, and at the time it was, had the late 80s, early 90s paint peel and looked a little rough, and so everybody decided that they didn't want it, and I waited patiently and raised my hand because there's oodles and oodles of potential in this. You're only limited by your imagination and your checkbook, and it's just got good bones. This is a very solid little truck. It is It is, like I said, it's a 90 model. It has the 350 700 R4 automatic. It has right at 227,000 miles on it, and it's never had the valve covers off of it. It blows a little puff of valve seal smoke when you first start it, but that cleans up pretty quick, and then it just runs. It's a pretty decent little truck, pretty solid. There's almost no damage to it. This front fender has some filler in it, and whenever I sanded it down and primed it, I put filler back in it. One of these days we'll put a fender on it. They're cheap. I just didn't do it at the time because I was on a time crunch. It has a little bit of cab corner rot, which they all do. A little bit of valve cover or cab corner rot. Other than that, it is a super solid little truck. It has almost no rust. It is in pretty good shape. So like I said, this was my wife's grandfather's truck. When he passed away, I ended up with it. It was that factory baby blue color, and it had the late 80s, early 90s paint peel that was coming off of it. And when the Power Tour came into town, they came through Stillwater in 2012, and I decided that I wanted it all one color. So I'm gonna try to get some pictures of it in its process, but essentially I started sanding it down, had the front clip in Rattle Can Duplicolor etching primer, and then it announced that the Power Tour was coming through town. I wanted to be a part of that, and we went to my in-laws lived about an hour away from here, and Memorial Day weekend 2012 I put 38 hours in this truck in 3 days in my in-laws driveway, and took it down to bare metal, Rattle Can etch primed it with Duplicolor, and then Rattle Can Duplicolor color flat blacked it, and drove it to work Monday morning or Tuesday morning. It was a fun little project. I wore it out, wore myself out getting it back together, but it came out pretty cool. When it was all said and done, I drove it around in the flat black for several years, and then, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, I was bored in the shop and I had a half a can of Krylon True Blue, and I thought, that'd look good on the truck. And so I taped off the corner and rattle canned it flat, or that bright blue on top, and yeah, that's the way it's been since. It's all rattle can. It looks it up close. It's not so bad from a distance, and it's just quality junk. Okay, like I said, it it came from the factory. Yes, and I know there's overspray everywhere, and it's crap. I get it. Came from the factory, that light baby blue, and all the paint was peeling off of it, like it did in the late 80s, early 90s. And so I needed it one color for the Power Tour. I made it one color. It's flat black, but it's still a color. The interior is really good. The door panels are the worst part of the interior. Grandpa used to leave the windows down and let it get rained in on a fairly regular basis, so the door panels are terrible. They are held together with sheet metal screws and not even attached. There's nothing left of the clips or the buttons that hold it in. The little notches in the back of the door panel are broken off, but the dash is pristine. There isn't a single crack in it. The only thing wrong with the dash is the speaker covers are faded. Other than that, it's perfect. The glove box door needs to be replaced because it's kind of beat up, but other than that, this interior is about as good as you can ask for an unrestored 30-year-old truck with 227,000 miles on it. I had to go find seat belts because and I robbed those out of just a salvage truck because the retractor quit working, and Grandpa just got in there and broke it so that it would retract, but it also wouldn't stop. So if you hit something with it, you ride the seatbelt through the windshield. So I had to find some of those because my wife wouldn't let any of the kids ride with me with a bad seatbelt, and I wouldn't do it either. So, but other than that, super solid little truck. Really clean inside. You know, the carpet's rough, but you would expect it. The door panels are junk, but they can be fixed, and you can buy them anywhere. And the seat's in relatively good shape. It's a little dirty, but it's good. So under the hood, again, I say it is your typical throttle body injected 350 Chevy. It is virtually indestructible. I mean, these things just keep running. It's got, like I said, 227,000 miles on it. Valve covers have never been off of it. It blows a puff of valve guide smoke when you first start it, or valve seal smoke, but it's probably done that since it had 50,000 miles on it. Because this generation of this motor did that. They just all kind of smoked a little bit. But good, solid little truck. Runs good. Air conditioner doesn't work anymore just because the back seal's bad on the compressor and just blows all the freon out of the back of it. I've got an inverter rigged up and a cord coming in that was running my Christmas lights for the parade float. That's all going to come off today. Other than that, I just put a steering box in it because the steering was really sloppy. So it's got a new steering box. It's got all new front steering components underneath it. It finally goes down the road reasonably straight now. But other than that, it needs a transmission. It slipped something terrible. The 704 is junk and it needs to be replaced. But other than that, it is a solid little, it stays mostly dry underneath. It's got a little bit of I'm thinking valve cover seep coming off the top or back of the intake manifold. It's coming from up top on the back side of the motor. Oil leak. Other than that, it is dry as a bone underneath. Just like I said, solid little truck. So what I've done to it since I got it, like I said, the wheels were an eBay purchase. I got them. I got them in like 2009, I think. The tires are junk. I wouldn't want to warm them up, but just because they're old, they've got lots of meat on them. They're just old. They've got I gave $600 for the set. Wheels, tires, complete. The tires were 6 months old when I got them. Had to drive over to Sapulpa over by Tulsa to get them, even though I bought them on eBay. $600 wheels and tires. The tires were $700 new, so I got a pretty good deal on the wheels, and they completely changed the look of the truck. I need to get it lowered because it's too tall, and those aren't my end game wheels and tires. They were just cheap. That's why I got them. The hood is a steel fake ram air towel induction hood. It was, I think, $198 off of eBay, and it was that cheap because it'd been dropped on this back corner over here and bent, and I hammered and dollied it out and got it back to where it was reasonably straight. But for $200, worth it. Other than that, it's untouched. The factory exhaust was rotting off of it when I got it, and I put Flowmaster 44 underneath it, and then that Flowmaster 44 rotted off of it, and I booger welded an ugly, just terrible lack of skill. I understand it. Booger welded a turbo from Thrush underneath it, and you know, it still sounds decent. It's not quite as good as the Flowmaster, but it still sounds good. But I was in a hurry and didn't have just cash laying around to do it. This is very much you've got 3 kids and other obligations, so you piece it together as you can type of a toy. So I don't get to dedicate a ton of money to it, which is why it's still in this state. But it truly is one of my favorite things, and you know, it gets the job done. It's a pretty good little pickup. So yeah, that's it. That's the beater. We may get a shot of it starting here in a sec. You can see the big puff of smoke coming out of the back of it, and then I'm probably gonna jump on getting Christmas lights out of it so I can get it inside. All right, let's see if it'll start. It's been sitting for a bit, so let's see if it'll go. Looks like it started. Did you see the little puff of smoke? Not even worth tearing it down for that. God, it's a good little truck, isn't it? Anyway. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna start taking lights off of it because I got stuff to do. So we'll see you in a bit.
I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
Chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm
Okay, and there you have it. 25 strands of lights, 53 or 4 zip ties, 10-foot piece of PVC, bunch of 3-inch deck screws, and it's apart and ready to go. So I'm gonna get it up in front of the shop and we'll see about taking the box apart that's in the bed. All right, good thing is it still moves. And I'm gonna go find me some food, sip on some coffee, and we'll play with it some more here in a little bit. We'll talk to you later.